Hello students, I am Mrs. Rupali Samir Brahme from Deccan Education Society's Ferguson College, Pune. Students, we have started chapter PHP, that is server-side scripting, in last lecture. Today we are going to learn control structures from PHP, if statement, for loop we are going to learn. We are also going to learn string functions in this lecture. Students, we will also see how to write user-defined function as well as how to pass arguments and numbers to the user-defined functions. We will see how to write the syntax of it by using some of the demos. So let us see the presentation for it. Students, let us learn the control structures. So in PHP, control structures provided are if-else statement as well as only if you can make use of. So this is a simple if statement which we have learned in JavaScript as well. Students, only simple change is over here that there is a dollar symbol for a variable. Otherwise, the syntax of the if statement is similar to JavaScript. So it's easy to write down a if statement by using the curly brackets. Observe over here, the echo is used instead of document.write for printing your web page or on your output. So here what you're going to see is over here simple syntax of the if statement. Here $p is a variable. I have assigned value 80 over here for it, and if it is greater than 75, it is going to display the distinction. Students, this if the condition is true, it executes the group of statements specified over here. Observe, this is the code which I have written and I have got the output as distinction. Students, this variable p I wrote capital over here. So this again I wrote capital same at both places because here in case of PHP, it's a case sensitive for only variable names. It is not case sensitive for the keywords like if, echo and this one. So here if you write this if in small or capital, doesn't matter, still your program will work. Even for this echo as well, if you write in capital or small, still your program is going to work. The important is that only the variable names are case sensitive in PHP. Let us see how if else is having the syntax. So this is the if else syntax. In case of if else, it executes this block of statements if the condition is true. If the condition is false, it is going to execute this block. Students, observe over here I wrote this E capital. That means it's not a case sensitive. Even if you write this in small case or all in caps, still it is going to work. Now this is a simple program which I wrote by using else if. So observe this else if also. If you want to check out the second condition, I can write this else if like this. So I have assigned two numbers some values. For number 1, I have assigned value 5. For number 2, I have assigned value 10. I am comparing these two numbers. So if I change these values, it is going to change the output over here. Now in this case, number 1 is smaller than number 2. So over here, it is going to have this condition as false. This also condition has false. So if this condition is false, it will come over here. Again, this condition is false, it is going to come in the else part. And in this else part, I am not going to check anything because if these two conditions are false, automatically it will come over here because that will become then true condition. So here it is going to print number 1 is smaller than number 2. So this is a simple program which is going to compare two numbers and which is going to print the output depending on the values of the variables. Students, let us see the loop structures in PHP. If you want to execute the block of statements repeatedly, then you can make use of the loop structures. We have already learned the loop structure for in JavaScript. So similarly, same syntax is there in PHP. As I said, the only difference is the dollar in front of the variable name. So over here, I have used a dollar symbol for the variable name. Otherwise, the same syntax we are using in JavaScript. Observe, same semi-comma we are giving in between condition and the initialization. So let us see This is the initialization part. I have initialized I equal to 0 over here. What is the condition? Till I is less than 5, you need to execute it. So increment or decrement as value of I is smaller than the last value. This is the initial value. This is the last value. And this is increment or decrement. Students, here I plus plus means I is equal to I plus 1. Instead of 0, if I specify 5, then here I need to specify obviously the lesser value 0, and this symbol is going to change, will be greater than. And I minus minus, if I write, it will go in reverse way, 5 to 0. So this is just 0 to 5. So output I am getting like this if I execute this program. Students, let us see the for loop syntax again. This is the for loop. Here the syntax is initialization, condition, it gets executed till the condition is true, and increment or decrement. Students, observe over here the way in which it executes. Here initial value it will give first. After that it will check whether the condition is true or false. So 1 is less than 5, that means condition is true. If the condition is true, it executes this part, means it is going to print the roll number. Now here it will print 1 because that is the initial value for the roll number. After that it will come to the increment part, and it is going to increment the roll number by 1 because roll number plus plus means roll number is equal to roll number plus 1. If you want to increment the variable by 2, you are not going to write on triple plus. You will write roll number is equal to roll number plus 2. And if you want to increment by other number, obviously that number or a variable name you can write here. Students, after increment or decrement, again it checks the condition. So roll number will become 2 and 2 is less than 5. So it is going to print 2 over here. So if I execute this program like this, so I will be getting output something like this. When it becomes a 6, so 6 is less than equal to 5 will become false and it will come out of the loop. Students, if I want to make use of any of the HTML tag along with the variable name in the echo, I can make use of the operator called as a concatenation operator in PHP. It's a dot. So dot is used for concatenation. So along with the roll number, I want to go to new line by using a break tag. So here that's why it has printed every number on the next line. So this dot operator is used for concatenation in case of PHP. Students, do remember that in JavaScript we were using plus operator for the concatenation, whereas PHP uses dot for the concatenation along with a string and variable. Students, let us learn how to perform SOP1 from the PHP. The SOP1 from PHP is based on the control structure. Here, you are supposed to check whether the person is eligible for voting or not. We are going to check the age by using if-else statement in the program. Over here, I am using the function over here for checking whether the person's age is above 18 or not. Observe over here, I wrote name of the function over here as my function and I am calling just by writing the name of the function. Here the function will be called, it will come over here. Age variable will be having value 50 initialized. So in the variable, as it's a global name over here I have written, the age I can access inside the function as well. Because of the global keyword, the value 50 can be accessed over here in the function. Here, this age variable I am comparing with the 18 value. If it is greater than, I am printing by using the echo statement, you are eligible for voting. Students, while writing PHP program, always take care that you are writing this semicolon. This semicolon, if it is missing or even this double quote ending is missing, then your interpreter will give error to you. Here, I am using the break statement to go to the new line. Students, if-else statement is going to check over here whether the person is eligible or not. If I change this value to If I put the value less than 18 over here, then it is going to execute the else part, that you are not eligible for voting. Right now the value is 50, so I got the output that you are eligible for voting. So this is the simple PHP program based on if-else statement for SOP1. So let us learn next part, that is a string manipulation functions. Students, these are the string manipulation functions given in your textbook. String length will return you how many characters are there in your string. For example, in ABC, you will find 3 characters. How many letters are there in a particular string? It is going to return. Students, word count is going to return number of words in a string. strrev function will reverse your string. str position will search the particular text or a particular letter and it will return the character position of it. So what is the character position? Is the index number. Students, do remember that index number is starting with a 0 in case of JavaScript as well as in PHP as well for the particular string. String replace is going to replace some characters with some new characters. So here substring is going to return the part of a string. To lower will convert into the lowercase. Substring count is going to count how many number of times the particular string or a letter is going to occur in your string. UC word is going to convert the first character of each word in uppercase, and trim is going to remove the white spaces. Instead of just learning the theory part, let us see how it works actually. So here is the sample program of string functions. So here I have assigned in this program the variable myString as Fergusson College Pune value. So this Fergusson College string initialization for this myString variable. So this string variable, I am just printing the string is Fergusson College Pune. Students, after printing it, I want to check how many letters are there in this string. So if you count the letters of this string, you will find that there are 23 characters. Students, observe over here, dot I have used to concatenate along with this string the length. So that's why those are printed over here on this line. String length needs one parameter. The value which is given to the function is called as a parameter. So this I am passing to it. So this variable has value Fergusson College Pune. That's why it has counted number of characters as 23. Students, how many words are there? Obviously 3 words are there in this. So str underscore word underscore count has given me the output as 3. I have again declared a new string over here. So this new string is just simple ABCD. So string reverse will reverse this string because I have passed this new string in strrev variable. So I have got the output DCBA because I have reversed this string. So this is going to help you to check whether the given string is palindrome or not program. So this is the simple program of string functions. Students, let us learn some more string functions from this slide. Here again same string I have taken as Fergusson College Pune. I want to find out the position of college in this string. So I have used string position function over here. String position function takes 2 parameters. First parameter is the original string from which you want to find out, and second is what you want to find out. Students, this you may accept from the user or you may pass directly the value. Here I have passed the value directly at that I want to find out the college in position in this string. So the position of the college word is 10th position. Students, over here observe the position of the college word over here. If you count the character, it comes 11. So why it is printed 10? Because the numbering is given from the 0. So 0 will be assigned for F, then 1 is for E, and so on. If you count in such a way that you will get the value 10th position for the college. Students, I have again declared a new string as ABCD. So if I want to find out the letter T in this ABCD, so by using the same function or a method which is inbuilt provided by the PHP, that is string position, I have passed two parameters for it again. In the new string, find out the T I have mentioned by using this statement. Observe that it has not given any value to me over here. Why? Because the T is not occurring anywhere in ABCD. Students, next I want to find out position of D. Simple, you can easily count the position of D is 3 over there, because 0, 1, 2 and 3 such kind of numbering will be given for this string. Students, to make the capital letter of the each word, I have used UC words function. Everywhere you will find that I have used a dot for concatenation. Observe here, everywhere dot is there, which is going to concatenate your string function output with the given string of the echo. Here, making capital letter for a string has made the F capital, C capital. F is already capital, so it has made C and the P capital over there. If you keep a space between two words, then only this program will give the proper output, because the space indicates that new word is starting over there. Here I want to count the letter N, how many times it is occurring in this string. So if you try to count the letter, the method is used substir underscore count. Substir underscore count will count how many times the string is appearing or a letter is appearing. So here I have given a letter. You may provide over here in the double quote a string. For example, if you want to find out in a particular paragraph how many times the word Pune is occurring. So here you can place a Pune and the complete paragraph you can provide here as a string. So here in my string, that is in this, N is occurring twice in Pune as well as in Ferguson. So that's why it has given output 2. Students, if you want to count number of words, word Pune, here I have mentioned that Pune for the substring. So as word, though it is occurring once, it has given me 0. Why? Because it is a case sensitive. So this P is capital I wrote over here, that P capital is not in this string. So that's why it has given me 0. When I will write that P small, I have got the output as 1, because this small Pune is occurring once. So when you are finding a particular substring in a given string, then over there you must take care of the case. This is all about the string functions. You have to make use of all these string functions in your various programs like vowel counting and others. In question number 8b, you may get a question of various string functions from JavaScript or here not from PHP. But for your practical examination, you must know, and for your online examination, you may get the string function, what will be the output of. So over there, you must know how the string function works. Students, if you want to write down a user-defined function, you have to make use of the keyword function. The function can be passed arguments. We have just seen in this slide that we have passed here arguments in various inbuilt string functions. So whatever we are writing in the brackets of the method, that we call it as a parameters, or we call them as a arguments. Arguments or the parameters are the values which are to be given to the function for execution. So argument is just like a variable. Arguments are specified after the function name inside the parenthesis like this. So here $number is one of the variable which I have passed for the cube function. Students, this cube function is a user defined function which I have written. For the user defined function, we are writing the keyword function. Now let us see the simple program which has the argument as a variable. So this is a simple program. Here the function cube will be called. I have assigned value 5 to variable a and I have passed this value to the cube function. This name of the function is given by me. You can specify any name over here. So this value a will be assigned to the variable number, means this value will be given to this number when it will call it. So here I have used word global over there, which for the result variable. Because of that, this result is accessible outside the function also over here. So this result I have given a value of number multiply by 3 times over here like this. So that's why it will calculate a cube, and the cube it will print in the echo statement here. Students, over here observe the screen. In front of you a add function is there, which is user defined function. I'm calling the add function by directly writing that in the echo statement. So this echo statement will print the output of this add function. Add function I have passed two values. One is the variable a, and which I have initialized to 30. I have passed direct value over here 170. Students, you can pass two values, like say I can pass 30 and 170 in this, or I can pass two variables also, let us say $a, and here I can write $b or some other variable. So now I have used the combination. This value of a, which is 30, will be assigned to the variable a over here. This 170 will be assigned to this when it will call the function. Observe, function keyword is used for writing the function. In this function, it is going to add these two numbers and it is going to return it. So what is return? Return is going to return the value from the function to this echo statement. So instead of writing echo, I can write any of the variable name also, like I can write over here $z equal to add so on. So here what I can do is over here in this function, observe over here, this is the code which I wrote in the notepad, and I have got the output as 200 because it has added 30 and 170 and it has returned to this echo statement for printing. So this is the program of taking two parameters for a user defined function. Students, while writing the user defined function name, you need to take care of the case. Here I wrote A capital, so I need to write on A capital here. This is all about user defined functions. We can make use of it for writing the code which you want to execute again and again. Students, let us learn the form handling by using PHP. So this is a simple form over here using which I want to accept the value from the user. So here I wrote the form which we have learned already in HTML5, that how to create the form. In this form, I have used the method post and action as add.php. In this, I have created two files. One is addition.html and another is add.php. Students, you need to save these both files in your root directory. So in the server, you are going to save it in the root directory so that they will be accessible to each other. I have given it as an action, means what? When user is going to submit this, it is going to execute this file. If you are not writing these both codes in same folder, you need to specify the path over there for this file. As I have saved both files in the same folder, I need not have to specify path here. When user is going to click on the submit button, automatically it is going to open this file. So whatever the user has typed in this particular two text boxes, the value will be passed to this. So how the value will be passed? By using the variable which you have specified in the name. So I have given name as num1 and num2. So when user will click on the submit, whatever values you typed by the user will be given to A and B respectively. So num1 value will be assigned to A and num2 value will be assigned to B when it will call the function. So in this, how it will pass the values? By using this underscore post. So students, as I have used the method post over here, I have specified that underscore post over here. So what is post and what is get is, we are going to learn that in next lecture. So this, just remember just now that this post is the method to get the data from the form. Here num1 will be assigned to A over here and num2 value will be assigned to B. Observe the syntax over here, underscore post, and in box bracket I have specified the variable name. Here echo is going to call this add function, and this is going to pass the parameter. Just now we have seen the same program, so which is going to add it and which is going to print the addition return, which is going to print the C value of C, that is the addition. So this program is going to accept value from the user and going to print the addition by using the text boxes. So this is how to create the form and how to pass the values to the PHP program via form. We are going to learn PHP array in the next lecture. Students, today we have learned how to write user-defined function. We have also learned how to pass values, that is arguments, we call it as a parameter as well, to the functions. We have also seen how to write down a user-defined function along with the form. In user-defined form, that is HTML simple form, we have accepted value in using input type equal to text and we have passed it to the user-defined function add. Students, we have also learned today what are the string functions. The string functions are very important for the examination, as what will be the output of the question will be asked in your multiple choice questions. Students, you have the multiple choice single answer question. In that, the question will be asked based on various string functions which we have learned today. We have also learned control structures today, that is if, else and for loop. Those also will be asked what will be the output for your examination. So you need to remember all these control structures and for loop. You need to try it that for the practical examination as well as for the online theory examination. We are going to see the arrays, which is the next part in the next lecture. Thank you.